I always believed my wife, Emma, when she said my brother Daniel was just family. She would laugh it off whenever I teased her about how much time they spent together. "Oh, come on, he's your brother. That makes him my brother too," she'd say with a smile that felt so genuine, so innocent. For years, I never questioned it. After all, Emma and I had built our life on trust, and Daniel had always been my closest confidant. He was the person who had stood beside me through school fights, heartbreaks, and even cheered the loudest at my wedding. But little did I know, the bond one thought kept us all together was quietly tearing me apart. It started with subtle things. Emma seemed distracted when I spoke to her, her phone lighting up late at night, her laughter echoing in the kitchen when Daniel texted her. I brushed it off at first, convincing myself I was being paranoid. They had inside jokes, yes, but didn't families always share them? Still, something gnawed at me. It wasn't jealousy, it was a shadow of doubt, a whisper I couldn't silence. One Saturday evening, Emma told me she was going grocery shopping. I believed her, but when I realized she'd left her wallet on the counter, I decided to catch up with her and hand it over. I drove to the store, expecting to find her in the vegetable aisle. But she wasn't there. I called her, no answer. A strange pull urged me to drive past Daniel's apartment. My stomach twisted when I saw Emma's car parked outside. I sat there for a moment, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. I told myself I was overthinking, that maybe she stopped by to drop something off. But as I stepped out of my car and approached his place, the sound of muffled laughter leaked through the slightly opened window. My chest tightened. I peered inside, and that's when the truth shattered everything I had believed in. Emma stood in Daniel's living room, her arms wrapped around him, her lips pressed against his. It wasn't a friendly hug. It wasn't just family. It was passion, raw and unrestrained. My legs felt weak, my heart pounding like a war drum. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. All the excuses, all the reassurances, all the trust, I realized it had been nothing but a lie. My wife, the woman I gave my heart to, and my brother, the man I trusted most, were betraying me together. I wanted to storm in, to scream, to break everything in sight. But instead, I stood there frozen, watching the two people I loved most destroy me without even knowing I was there. A tear slipped down my cheek, not from weakness, but from the crushing weight of betrayal. I turned and walked back to my car, my hands trembling as I gripped the keys. That night, I didn't confront them. I let Emma come home, pretending nothing had happened. She kissed me on the cheek as if her lips hadn't just been on my brother's. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying the image over and over. The next morning, over breakfast, she smiled at me and asked if I wanted more coffee. I studied her, wondering how someone could look me in the eyes and lie so effortlessly. Finally, I broke the silence. "Emma," I said, my voice low, "how close are you with Daniel?" She blinked, caught off guard, then laughed nervously. "What do you mean?" "He's just family. You know that. Just family." Those words, once comforting, now felt like poison. I leaned back, keeping my expression calm though my insides burned. "I hope you're telling me the truth," I whispered. For the next few days, I played the role of the clueless husband. I watched her carefully, noting every text she hid, every excuse she made. And I made a decision. If she and Daniel thought they could fool me, I'd let them dig their own graves. The following weekend, I set up a hidden camera in the living room. I told Emma I was working late, but instead, I waited outside in my car. Sure enough, within an hour, Daniel showed up. Through my phone, I watched as Emma welcomed him with open arms, their embrace melting into another kiss. My heart shattered all over again, but this time, I wasn't powerless. The next evening, I invited Daniel and Emma's family over for dinner. Everyone laughed, ate, and shared stories, completely unaware of the storm about to hit. When dessert was served, I cleared my throat and said, "I've got something I want to share." With a click, the TV screen lit up, playing the footage of Emma and Daniel together. The room fell silent. Forks clattered against plates. Emma's face drained of color, and Daniel froze in his seat. Gasps echoed around the table as the truth played out in high definition. Emma stammered, "It's not what it looks like," but her voice cracked under the weight of her own lies. I stood tall, my voice steady despite the chaos inside me. "You said he was just family," I said, my eyes locked on hers. "But your kiss proved otherwise." The silence that followed was deafening. I didn't need to scream, didn't need to fight. The truth had spoken louder than anything I could have said. Without another word, I set my wedding ring on the table, turned my back on both of them, and walked out the door. That night, I realized something important: betrayal doesn't deserve confrontation, it deserves closure. And mine came the moment I chose myself over their lies.